Welcome everyone. Thank you, members of the public, for joining us. Members of the staff. As usual, we're here from residents and address your complaints. You've probably heard this before, but here at Citi-Stat, we're going to listen to your complaints, and the directors have 48 hours to provide a response of some kind. And if that doesn't solve the problem, we will continue to work on it. So we are here to hear from you. We have two presentations beforehand. We're going to have the Trenton Fire Department to speak on fire safety. We're going to have the Trenton Police Department provide that. But before we do that, we'll have some opening remarks from our honorable mayor.
Thank you, Colin. Thank everyone for coming. As Colin said, we're here to hear from you tonight, and we have two presentations on public safety. But most importantly, we're here so that you can ask your direct questions right to our directors. And as Colin said, we have to start in 48 hours, and hopefully we'll be more responsive. Who's going first? I want to give our illustrious Fire Department Director, Kenneth Douglas.
Well, I guess the term that get thrown right to fire applies to me being the fire director, right? Being the first one. Good evening. Mayor, thank you for having me here today for this presentation. Colin also, this is administrator. I'm glad to present the Citi-Stat for the Trenton Fire Department Emergency Services. And just a little bit about myself. I've been with the City of Trenton Fire Department for about 4 years and 2 months. And it's been a great experience. Just actually bringing his vision to life and make sure that this is a representative of the Capital City's Fire Department. We had a lot of great accomplishments, and I'm glad to be here to achieve those goals. So one of the things of the fire department is our job to protect the life and property of everybody in the city of Trenton, and also the visitors of the city's capital. So we have a lot of visitors come every day. Our scope of duties and responsibility of suppression, EMS, technical rescue, hazardous materials, and community preparedness. We do pride ourselves on going out in the community and teaching them to better educate themselves, how to better protect themselves at home and protect them from fire also. And just a brief overview of the fire department, all the divisions of the fire department. Of course, we have the administration, fire headquarters, fire suppression. Of course, when anybody has a fire, that's on a daily basis if it happens. The training, of course, for all the members of the fire department, keep abreast of anything related to fire safety, or the codes, or the training related to how to fight fires. Logistics, this is a fire division for the fire department. Special operations deals with our dive team, our rescue, extrication, our drones, and so forth and so on, which actually do part of the police department. And I'm glad to say we got a great partnership in building a task force very soon with the county. Community risk reduction deals with our community outreach, going out to the community and teaching the community how to better protect themselves from fire. TIMS is actually the heart of fire departments. Through agreement, the Dave Control of EMS for the city of Trenton and the Office of Emergency Management also falls under the umbrella of the fire department. One of the things that we always pay attention to when it comes down to the fire department, in the national statistics, it's about 4,500 a year for people suffering from burns. Injuries is well over 25,000. Now, this is a national statistic when it comes down to fires and how they are in the United States. And 600,000 burns with injuries receive treatment. Going to the next slide. Related to when the fires actually happen and our peak times. We have the winter months starting October, November, all the way up to March. We have a lot of fires just because people are trying to keep warm through heating mechanisms, try to keep warm. And sometimes when you try to do that, you find some failed wiring, so the furnaces get burnt out. People try to keep the house with ovens, candles, electrical issues, and these are some of the main factors that cause fires. In the kitchen, we have a lot of fires naturally in the kitchens, in the bedrooms. We have heating blankets, we have heating systems, they catch on to mattresses, they catch on to bedding, living rooms with power strips, basements usually comes across with furnaces and heating systems. The chimneys include, of course, if you do have those items in your house, in the chimney, you want to get it cleaned every year because it builds up soot and it can cause fire in the back of your house. And outside, we have rubbish and brush fires that happen also. In New Jersey, our statistics look like this. Appliances cause about 5% of the fires. Cigarettes are 7%. Cooking, 17%. Cooking is one of the major things that you actually find a lot of fires in, because you pots on the stove, they have material close to the stove. Some people don't even have fire extinguishers at home, so we have small fires, big fire, and it's out of control. And unfortunately, it causes huge damage to the house. Electrical wiring, what we experience in a lot of urban towns, we have a lot of old wiring. A lot of people, fortunately, aren't able to get those fixed, but sometimes these wires fail. And I'll just say to anybody, if you have any wiring issues in your home, make sure you call electrician. Heating and cooling, these are the systems in the house that keep it cool throughout the year. And arson is not really one of the biggest things, but it does happen sometimes. And this is, with the New Jersey statistic, this is some of the reasons why some are caused. Now, in the city of Trenton, what we have for protection, we have 4 wards. We have 7 fire stations. Now, the 7 fire stations, we run 7 engines, 3 ladders, and a rescue squad. This is a totality of about 42 personnel that's on shift every year. Every other shift in fire, we have 4 shifts at 24 hours a shift. And our response time to fires, which we get dispatched by the police department, is 2 to 3 minutes. Now, the national standard through the EPA is 4 minutes, but 2 to 3 minutes anywhere in the city, the fire department can respond to any of these. On the average, the fire department is about over 8,000 runs a year, sometimes even 200, sometimes even 500. In certain years, it goes over probably 70, 7,900. But of course, we're always trying to get that number down. In the city of Trenton, one of the biggest responses that we do go to is first responders. Although fire is our main thing that we actually respond to, but first responder calls assisted by EMS division to make sure that people are safe. In the hospital, in the case of a medical emergency, we have a lot of those calls. The fire department has transcended throughout the years. We have less fires, that's why more EMS calls. So the fire department takes a heavy role, also assists our EMS division. In some departments throughout the country, the fire department and EMS is all combined in one, fire-based EMS. So some firefighters actually have EMTs, they can ride the bus, or they ride the fire truck. We don't have that in New Jersey, but that's why fire departments help out the EMS division, because there's so many EMS calls. And just for the sake of this presentation, I want to express some home safety tips to make sure the fact that everybody can keep to this and can keep themselves safe at home. First, we'll talk about the 9/11 system. Second, smoke detectors, planning practice, home escape plan, cooking safety, heating safety, electric, batteries, carbon dioxide, and candles and smoke. So, some people wonder, how does the alarm get to the fire department dispatch? Thanks to my best friend, Steve Wilson, is dispatch from the police department. When you do call 911, it does go to the police department and then goes to the fire department. Now, mind you, although there's a 2 to 3 minute response time to the firehouse, it may take a minute or so for that call to go to the police department, get information so they can properly dispatch the fire department to that location. Transmission to the police department, calls forwarded, and fire company dispatch. Now, mind you, I'll say this can probably happen all within 5 minutes from call to response to the location. It's still pretty good, but the thing is that the standard is held from the firehouse to the location is 4 minutes before we go to the alarm. One of the biggest things is smoke detectors. If you see on this diagram, I'll show you right here, it is suggested the fact that have a smoke detector every floor of your home. basement, to the kitchen, outside the kitchen, the living space, to the bedroom space, to your attic. Now, we do install smoke detectors free for city residents. I'll just say to you at the end of this presentation, you'll see some contact information. Do not hesitate to call the fire department, because if you don't have a smoke detector, you think yours is out or not working, please call us and make sure that you get as many smoke detectors as available to your home and actually firefighter will suggest it to you. One thing I would not say to do is put a smoke detector in your kitchen, because if you're regular cooking, even some smoke, the smoke detector might go all the time. You don't want to do that. Outside the kitchen is always a great place, but not inside the kitchen that's always cooking. Another thing that I want people to be aware of is home escape plan. From people that live in senior homes that has one exit to people that have multiple exits that can leave out the building safely, you do want to have a home escape plan regardless of what kind of apartment or house you live in. From the egress to a window, if you want a lower floor, but don't go to a floor about the window doors. But the thing is that you have to find a way to get out the house in case of fire and emergency. I've seen many a times that people, of course, get disoriented and window, but you should try to find and have an escape plan if you live by yourself or if you live with family members, and make sure you have an outside location that you meet up. One of the things that you don't want to happen in fire, and that's what I read, is the fact that when you get on the scene, and as you know, you have the person yelling, say, oh, my baby, my son, my daughter's left in the house. Only thing I say to help them with that is the fact that everybody in the house is educated on the escape plan. The fact that if it is an emergency, get out the best way you can, we can have a location so the fact that you can let everybody see. Now, cooking safety is another tip. You have to stay by the stove. You have too many people that go to the stove, they turn something on, they forget about it, next thing you know, they're watching TV, they come back, now you have to fire in the kitchen. That happens too often. And that's why kitchen fires are probably one of the biggest percentages, not just on the national standard, but the local standard, that a lot of fires happen. One of the things also, when you are cooking, make sure you have short sleeves on, you want to keep on seasoning just in case of flames. Grease fires, you'll never use water. Again, if you have a fire extinguisher, you don't have a fire extinguisher, you make sure you should have it. Recently we did a smoke detector install, and it's many residents about moving houses, and they didn't have smoke, they didn't have fire extinguishers at home. And I always encourage that, because just in case it's a small fire, when you did, make sure the fact that you have the ability to put out a small fire that can actually save the house. Now, if you can't do that, please don't put water on it, but try to leave out as quick as you can if it gets out of control, so your life is better than the material things that you have. Heating safety is a challenge. Years ago, we had kerosene heaters that used to heat up the home. Carbon monoxide used to be different. We don't have those anymore, but now a lot of people use space heaters. The heating systems in the house may not be sufficient enough to keep the family warm. What I say about the space heaters, keep them far away from bedding, keep them far away from the couches, and make sure they have some kind of cutoff switch on them. In fact, if they do tip over, they're not kept on, you can actually make sure. If you don't have that type of heater, it's immediately, because what you don't want to, the heater stays on and it burns your house down. Another thing is that if you're leaving the house, make sure you turn the heat off and unplug it also. I would not suggest it. So we have electric outlets. This right here, you see the bottom picture, you have a lot of people that have these power strips. The problem with these power strips is not rated. That is too much to put on the power strip. That right here will generate heat. Electricity generates heat. And heat, of course, that in the bell and cause fire. Now imagine that on your couch. That catches fire. It's the couch is on fire. It's the room is on fire. It's the whole house is on fire. And electricity is just dangerous. We have to treat it just as if it was like a pot of soap. If you have a hot smell with electricity, something as well, a plastic smell. The chargers to the cell phones. Now everybody has cell phones that could be chargers, but what I suggest to you is the fact that some of these corner store chargers are not really rated for the phones right now today. And actually, if you fill these, if you got one, if you fill it after a few minutes, that can heat up. And that can fail, it can actually cause a fire. I would just say stick with the manufacturer's cell phone chargers and the wires, because you can risk having fire. And if you fail safe, call 911. Never smoke with it. I mean, there's some people in here that smoke all the time, but that's another story. I digress. We'll talk about that. I'm not a smoker, but the thing is, if you smoke, I said, please don't smoke in bed. And if you have company come over that do smoke in your house, one thing you have to be very mindful of the fact that do your company put their cigarettes out properly, or do you drop it into your carpet and burn your carpet and pop off by slowly and you make it one of the city in a private house. Just have the company respect your house. If you have respect for your own house, you discard the cigarettes properly. And your lighters, your children in the house. Please look and see this because children, of course, they get fascinated by lighters. They flicker, and you know, they light curtain on fire. They don't know that this is nice lights and it's going to the house on fire. And these safety tips, it happens in every home. And finally, I'd like to talk about fire extinguishers. At any given time, you should know how to use this. If you don't have it in the house, please first. There's not a lot of money in the big box stores. And one of the things that use fire extinguishers, use an acronym called PASS. So I don't have the example in front of me, but you know, if you have a fire extinguisher, you see the pin in it, you pull it, you take the handle, you aim it towards the fire, you squeeze the handle, you squeeze it so the solution comes out, and you spray it to the location. Now mind you, we do have fire extinguisher simulator. I'll be putting some literature out here to the city, on the residents. Once I do a survey to find out who doesn't know how to use a fire extinguisher, that we're going to have one, and to make sure that we are well equipped with the possibility of learning how to use a fire extinguisher. And hopefully, at your job, when you have multiple fire extinguishers. This is the contact information for the Trenton Fire Department. Please contact us at 609-99-4038. That's the main number to the Trenton Fire Department. In addition, we have our social media pages. Facebook is Trenton Fire, Instagram is Trenton_Fire, and our YouTube page is Trenton Fire Watch. And that's my Citi-Stat presentation for the fire department. Thank you very much. Any questions?
Thank you all for coming out. Let's just get right into this. Okay, here we have year-to-date stats for our apartment crimes in the city, comparing 24 to 2025. Given us that our violent crimes are down this year, so far, I don't know what it remains that way. All these will be available on the city's website after concept. Here on this next slide, we have our Trenton firearms recovery. This year, we have recovered 28% more firearms off the street than last year. For TPD communications, these are our calls for service. As you can see, the North has the most calls for service last year and this year. Calls are on the horizon. That's a picture of some of our telecommunicators. This next slide is our arrest by district, comparing 24 to 25. We have a change of 37% in a negative. We have less arrests this year. I hope that the reason for that is it's coinciding with our violent crime going down in the city. Community concerns. Last onset, we got some complaints in the South and East District concerning prostitution and drug sales. We conducted operations. You can see here in yellow, on the top right, CIB undercover operations led to the arrest of 4 individuals charged with ordering to engage in prostitution and engaging in prostitution. When we come up to slide 7, you'll see those perpetrators. Also, in the South Avenue and Ditmore Alley, we had the same type of complaint. We conducted operations there as well. We arrested 2 individuals charged with loitering to engage in prostitution and engaging in prostitution. In addition to that, 10 different violations of city ordinance summonses were issued. Our next complaint that we had, complaints about the ATVs and dirt bikes. So, Trenton Police Department has been conducting operations in regards to those. Our last operation, we arrested 5 individuals. We seized 4 ATVs and dirt bikes. We issued 22 summonses, and also we recovered a semi-automatic handgun for one of those arrests. These are the individuals that we locked up in our first undercover operation on Broad Street. These are some of the ATVs and dirt bikes that we seized, along with the handgun that we seized. You can see the first picture on the left. We will continue to conduct these operations. That's not going to stop. Our year-to-date clearance rates, our homicide task force is at 86% clearance rate. Our shooting response team for shooting hits is 69% at the moment. For shooting non-hits is 78%. Our robbery unit is at 56%. Our assault unit is at 80%. For non-domestic violence, and 97% for domestic violence. And our arson unit, we have a clearance rate of 84%, and we work along with the fire department in that regard. So, next slide, I'm going to introduce and then bring up Detective Tamika Summers. She's our West Ward Community Affairs Detective, and she's going to tell you a little bit something about what she's done, what she's got planned for the community and Trenton. Tamika.
I am Detective Tamika Summers. Under the direct leadership of Detective Lieutenant Bethesda Stokes, we meet with community groups, civic associations, and concerned citizens about any questions or comments on the many happenings throughout our town. The unit is responsible for handling anonymous tips that are received and take a proactive approach to combat many quality of life complaints. We also organize and participate in various programs with our seniors, Citizens Academy, which is in the 5th of 10 weeks. Tonight, from 6 to 9 p.m., we will be hosting another event in the springtime, March or April next year, so sign up, please. Our summer camp for ages 10 to 15 through the summer, July and August, 5 weeks free to all families in the city of Trenton. Trunk or Treat, we'll be hosting our 11th annual Trunk or Treat event on the 23rd, Thursday, from 5 to 8 p.m. at the Trenton Police Department, 225 North Clinton Avenue. And our annual Thanksgiving drive will be coming up on the Tuesday before Thanksgiving of next month. I also wanted to share with you that it doesn't matter what season it is. Usually we have this throughout the winter months, but there are no parking safeties. All curbside parking in the city of Trenton is a first come, first served basis. You're not allowed to put chairs, tables, trash cans, or any other household item in the street to save the parking space. And finally, we have becoming school crossing guard flag placed on the resource table in the back. We are at least 30 crossing guards short. You have to be 18 years or older, pays $23 an hour, high school diploma or GED equivalent, live in the city of Trenton, and must pass a background investigation and physical examination. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Tamika. And these are our contact numbers for the police department. And they will be, and like I said, this whole presentation will be available on the city's website. And that's it. Thank you.
start with Mr. Victor Luzon.
I believe if there was actually more than that, we would too many. Mayor, I'm glad you're here. I've been advocating that I don't think you qualify to be a mayor for the city. The city's a tough city, it's always been a tough city. It's a box city. You, San Marcos City, Pimp City, religious city overall, as well as staffed by workers. Law enforcement has used as a pawn, not only training children across America to enforce the policies of J. Edgar Hoover. Around 1956, he and his cultural program directed to the black community, African American communities. I say specifically 1459, 1619. Anything after that is European. It's British slavery and control politically up till today, and the Caribbean is also Africa. My point is that law enforcement here in Trenton has been used as a pawn for that policy, and I was looking at statistics, and Trenton became very violent between 1950s up to 1970s, and from the 70s beyond till now, it became very violent. You see the city down. The Trenton was up the line, little New York was long. And Edgar Hoover, 56, established that policy or that program, and then Nixon took it over in some way. And what a pilot program, I think it was 1971, they instituted the so-called pilot program, war on drugs, and became legal in 1973, and the Second World War 1727 still going today. And his directive of goods again to the black communities to prevent from one so-called backward raising up to more well, he wants to say that those are being response. You should be replaced for that. Not talking.
Our next member of the public, J.C. Bradley. Next member of the public, Justin Walker. Oh, that's fine. And we have, I don't know if you were representing any others, but we have a list of concerns from the Oakland Street Civic Association.
I'm not hearing you.
We have a list of concerns from the Oakland Street Civic Association. I don't know.
We'll talk to the officer that's having.
Great. Fantastic. That is all of the papers that we have received. Are there any members of the public who filled out a newspaper or wish to speak that we haven't called on yet? Then thank you everybody for joining us. Thank you members of the public for your time. We appreciate it. Thank you directors for your presentation. Thank you, Mayor. Have a great evening, everyone else. Our next November Citi-Stat meeting will be at 10 a.m. and we will issue those dates. November 12th at 10 a.m. And we hope to see everyone there. Once again, thank you. Those